And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth. Centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, and our number one goal is to educate, entertain, enlighten, and most importantly, we want to engage you in an effort to help you win in any marketplace. No matter what you're facing out there, we want to be your consumer advocate and help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
We love it when the hotline rings and blings. 813-670-7372.
Here's my number, so call me maybe.
And also bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you at consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors. You can watch the live stream television show version of our show from our website, consumerqb.com. Also on webeam.com, Webeam TV as well, John Gaston. And you got the contact form there as well, where you can submit a form. The email comes directly through to me and my team, and we're going to make sure that we answer any questions you have and help make you just a bit more street smart out there, help you avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent in our communities. And it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Back in studio, Jason Brooks, mortgage expert.
Good afternoon. Welcome. It's good to be here, and can't wait to talk a little bit about the local market. We're going to talk about Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, property values, appreciation value, where we rank as far as in the country, and get into that.
Yeah, that's great. You know, the appreciation, the ability to buy assets in real estate, allocate assets. We'll talk about maybe through some of the vehicles you can avoid taxes legally through as well. And it's Jason Brooks, mortgage expert, E-Mortgage Management, and the Dale Bro team. Also in studio, Lela Bloodsworth, founder of Plan for Peace. She's a local licensed psychotherapist out of St. Petersburg. Welcome in.
Hi, Brandon. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, so today I just hope to enlighten everyone and talk about the resources if you are going through a divorce or separation. Probably smart places to put your money, places that make sense if you have to go through that process, and the resources that I have to offer to help. Yeah,
that'd be great. Yeah, smart money moves, ways to go through that. You also help people with all types of family, and we talked last time a little bit about divorce situations as well. So we're going to talk about that dynamic of the situations where families' values aren't lining up, kids, children,
Absolutely.
Working with children as well.
Absolutely.
All right, so we always start our show off with a little bit of an audible here. So we're going to help you as a published author. I published a book called Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. We also do some public speaking and MC events. But we want to start it today with entrepreneurial thinking versus corporate thinking. And when you think about it, all people have a general baseline that they want to achieve the highest amount of success throughout their career. 80% of the millionaires are entrepreneurs, and they started basically with nothing, most of them, and they've made all of their money in a lifetime. There's people that are, I saw a video the other day about a gentleman that is looking to be the world's first trillionaire, and he's exploring moon travel. I mean, so our limits are definitely limitless as our abilities these days. So what you think about is corporate types versus entrepreneurial types. So find out where you are at on your path, but corporate types. So we're talking about managers or employees. So the corporate types are going to view employees with a disinterest and a distaste, and they think of them as people who complain a lot. They're going to use words like them, they, their to describe their company, and they think a job is a job. And whenever I get home from work, I'm not worried about my job. I'm not thinking about my job anymore. That's a corporate type. That's what you want to avoid being or associating with by the water cooler. Now, on the flip side, you're going to have entrepreneurial types, right? These are the folks that are thinking about customers all the time. They're thinking about ways that they can add value to the customer. They're thinking about ways to be creative. They're creative thinking, and they're also acting as the chief sales officer for their company. And when they think about their company and speak about it, they say I, we, and my. It's our team. And they want to grow their skills and add value. So that's one of the ways to achieve success and prosperity. And your 2-minute drill here is to figure out what is your syllabus. You know, when you went to college, you went to school, you had a syllabus that said, okay, here's what we're going to learn this year. Now you're out of school. Most people are out of school. You're working your day to day. So think about it from a perspective of where is my industry headed? What skills, knowledge, and skills can I add to my repertoire to be more advantageous or add more value to the client? So think about that. Understand where your industry's going and be ahead of the curve, and that's going to help you lead to success and prosperity. All right, there's your 2-minute drill from the quarterback here. So we've got Name That Tune coming up later in the show. We got some fun, having some fun with you here. Name That Tune, and we got pop songs today. All right, so some older. We got 1975, 84, and on up to 2010. All right, so we got some pop tunes coming up. We got our feel-good story of the week coming up as well. Stranger buys new barbershop for man who gives free haircuts to homeless. So great feel-good story coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Let's give a shout-out to our restaurant partner, Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Plaza. They've got great food, cozy environment, and a very friendly wait staff over at Brio Tuscan Grill, located off of Bay Street, next to Renaissance Tampa Hotel, International Plaza. And you will find a Italian menu and the pleasures of a Tuscan country villa at Tampa. And we invite you to check out Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Plaza. Now, make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and they're going to be able to give you that free water with lemon that we joke about here on the show. So go say hello to them over there. Let them know the quarterback sent you. All right, we're back here in studio now. The goal of this show is to help educate, entertain, enlighten. And Jason Brooks here is one of the best mortgage minds I've ever interviewed on the show. We talk about the mortgages. We talk about the economy. We talk about smart money moves and decisions, as Lela kind of alluded to. So where do you seeing a lot of the smart money going, and how are things appreciating?
Good question. So I say we because it's really all of us. So I got into this business 15 years ago. I traded stocks and commodities for a short amount of time. I fell in love with the mortgage business because we were in the position to help everybody we spoke to. Whether we did a loan for them or not was irrelevant. I was never going to put somebody in a worse off position than they were when they came to me, and that was a big deal to me. Right. I had no aspirations as a child to be a mortgage banker. That wasn't it. I thought I was going to play sports forever. Like most kids do that are athletes. And when I got into the real world and realized that I had to pay my own bills, right? I tried all kinds of different things. I was an electrician by trade, believe it or not. I did commercial construction for a few years, and I ultimately ended up in finance, and I love it. And one of the things that my grandfather told me before he passed away, and what he instilled in me when I was very young, is to save money, save it right, save it young, and leave it alone. And I did, and there's really good ways to leverage assets. One of the ones that I've taken advantage of as an individual, so that I can speak very passionately about it because I know it works. Typically in a market like today's market, we're breaking records every month, right? 7 months in a row now, we're within 3% of the all-time highs. I mean, that's insane. It's never happened before. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm earning anywhere from, we'll just say anywhere from 8 to 12% on average, more on the high end. So if I can borrow money at 3% or 4%, and I can earn 10% on the money, what did I pay for the money? I didn't pay anything, right? So every 3 to 5 years, I do this personally with all of my real estate assets. I do a refinance. I do a 15-year loan. I can manage to do a 15-year payment, no problem. And every 3 to 5 years, I refinance and pull the maximum amount of cash that I can pull out, and I dump it back into my stock portfolio or retirement account or whatever, IRA, doesn't matter what it is. And then I'm earning more interest than I'm paying on the money. So at the end of the day, it's net money. It's free. All I'm doing is manage to do a payment while I have an income that I can use to do that. And if I do that every 3 to 5 years with a 15-year now, not a 30 or 20 or 25, but a 15-year, every 3 to 5 years, I'm building about the same amount of equity that I would, that I'm putting in. I mean, it's very simple. So it gives me a tool to do that. And you start compounding that over time. Okay, the rule of sevens, 7% every 9 years your money doubles. So if you think about that, 9, 18, 27 years down the line, that $100,000 turns into $400,000, or that $300,000 turns into, 1.2 million. It's a big deal. So that's just one way to look at real estate from an asset building perspective. And I don't get up every day and go to work for that money. I didn't get up out of bed and roll over this morning and go, I got to get up and go to work for my equity. That's not right. It's just there. So that's one way to do it. The Tampa market is really weird. It's our inventory levels are down 8% year over year. There's a lot of value in the real estate market right now, and it's a really good time to own a home because of the things that it affords you.
Yeah, absolutely. And where else can you take a 3% down payment, sometimes even less if you're a veteran,
100%
and leverage. And you're able to leverage 3%, let's just say for a $500,000, $500,000 asset, you take 3%, $15,000 roughly, you put it into that, and now you're driving that bus that Jason alluded to earlier.
Right, exactly. And again, if you do it right and you structure it properly, again, it's just like when you buy a car. You don't go buy a car and take out a 7-year loan. You can, but you're going to be upside down in that car for pretty much until the entirety of the car until it's paid off, versus doing it with a 3 or a 4-year loan. So you manage your budget based on what you can afford, and then you back your way into how much car that is based on a 4-year loan, not a or a 3-year loan, not an 8-year loan on a vehicle, because then you're going to be upside down every time.
Right.
Same thing with a mortgage. You might want a $400,000 home or a $500,000 home today. And could you afford it on a 30-year? Maybe. But if you bought a $290,000 home and you did it on a 15-year with the same payment, and then you leverage that, you can pay cash for your next house down the line. You know what I mean? So it's just a difference of being patient, understanding how the financial side of things works. I look at myself more as a mortgage planner. My background's completely different than most you're going to talk to in my business. So it allows me to give a different advice that people just don't hear, when it comes to this kind of thing.
Non-commission based advice. That's what we talk about.
I get paid the same regardless of what loan you take or don't take. It doesn't matter to me. I don't need, we're doing $20-25 million a month in volume, and it's all local business. So at the end of the day, I want to help as many people as possible. That's the primary goal. And to kind of allude to what you spoke to in the 2-minute drill earlier, have a mission statement for yourself. What is your mission as an individual? What is your mission in your work life? What is your mission at home? And make your decisions based on that. That's what I do. I learned that. I didn't finish college. I didn't have the opportunity. I started making money and just never looked back. But that doesn't mean that I didn't pay a whole lot of attention. I read a lot. I do a lot of reading. I look at different things. I look at things differently. I'm always trying to reinvent something. I'm never satisfied with what's going on around me. So
that's right.
I call myself a tinkerer. I like to tinker and play with different things.
Yeah. And nowadays it's audiobooks. You're driving in the vehicle. It's an audiobook in your ear. You're walking the dog, going for a jog, whatever you're doing. You're able to increase your knowledge and grow your self-worth.
Absolutely.
And I love what you said about the mission statement. That's definitely, you want to have clarity in your life. Where are you going? Where have you been? Where are you going? And what are the time frames that you have allowed for yourself? That's something that's a key factor. So more from our expert contributors. That's Jason Brooks here, eMortgage Management, the Del Bro team. Also coming up, we got Lela Bloodsworth in studio. She's a licensed psychotherapist. We're going to talk about some of the insights behind the money and also the different dynamics that come up in life, especially these days with the smartphones attached to us and some of the different technologies that we have in this instant gratification world we live in. So stay with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got expert contributors in the house. We've got our feel-good stories coming up, and Name That Tune as well. So check out this story. When we come back, we're going to talk about stranger buys new barbershop for man who gives free haircuts to the homeless. So we'll see you on the other side of the break.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation. Visit Pasco County, Florida.
Listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Got a couple of hot listings I got to let you know about here. I've got an open house going on Friday, 3 to 6 o'clock over at 10217 Timberland Point Drive in Tampa. Open house in Arbor Green subdivision, $344,000 property, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3-car garage. Beautiful property here, conservation lot, great buying opportunity, as well as a Largo property at 14465 Tanglewood Drive in Largo, Bay Hills subdivision. This is a great buying opportunity as well. It's a wonderful ranch-style pool home in Largo, over 2,900 square feet, $550,000, and it's literally just across the bridge from the beaches. So it's a great place to live, work, and play. Great buying opportunity. And let's give a shout out to Two Maids and a Mop. Our official cleaning partner is Two Maids and a Mop. Excellent service, and a clean house just makes you feel better. You get that momentum. You get the endorphins rushing through your body. You get on that momentum train that we talk about here. And they also offer free cleaning to cancer patients. And, that's what's really cool about this company. It sets them apart as they are very involved in the local community here in Tampa Bay. Two Maids, a maid service worth talking about. Two Maids and a Mop. So check them out online, consumerqb.com as well. You can see all of our expert contributors at consumerqb.com. So it's Intelligent Talk Radio. We're having an intelligent conversation about smart money today, smart money moves. Jason Brooks in the house. We've got Lela Bloodsworth as well. So when we talk about smart money as well, I like to bring up the fact that we have Advanta IRA also as an ongoing contributor. Scott Maurer talks about buying assets through an IRA. Mm-hmm. So that's another way just to add more to the advantage side of this conversation.
Yeah, if you own an IRA, and again, I'm not a professional, I'm not an expert on this particular piece of it, but basically you can borrow against your IRA, turn it into you purchase a piece of real estate. You don't pay penalties on that money. You don't it's not taxable at that stage, and you can create additional assets within your portfolio through real estate based on money you already have available to you. So yeah, I have a couple of high net worth clients that do that pretty consistently. They add to their portfolio through their IRA, through money that they already have saved for retirement, and that allows them to go out and purchase assets. Pay cash. It becomes it's actually kind of fun to watch because they can pull the trigger on a property immediately because it's cash essentially. They're not borrowing money. There's no lending institution involved. And they're just adding to their portfolio. And again,
that's the way you have to beat the day because the market's so fluid.
30 days or less, man. That's the average. I was just looking at some of the numbers right now. in Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, I said this earlier, year over year, inventory levels are down 8%. Month over month, they're down 2%. Median home price is $221,000. And the forecast over the next 1 year, the 1 year forecast for appreciation, we're in the top 10% for appreciation, and we're in the top 10% for job growth.
Wow.
Those two things in combination with each other are fantastic.
Very powerful.
So over the next year, it looks like we're predicting 7.43% appreciation, and the 5 year cumulative total is about 18%.
Wow.
So think about that. I bought an asset today for $250,000, and 5 years down the line, you're basically putting yourself in position for about a 20% increase in property value. That's a big number.
Almost regardless of what the stock market does.
Exactly, because this works independently from that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when the stock market has this uncertainty, and it's going to correct at some point, there's going to be even more money that flows into real estate, from just a general knowledge base there as far as economics go. Now, when you have the ability to leverage the assets to buy, through Jason Brooks here, eMortgage Management, the Del Bro team in Tampa Bay. We want you reaching out, supporting a local lender and someone you can trust right here in Tampa Bay. So let's talk about this Tony Robbins event coming up, man. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
Your team, you and you're taking top five guys.
Yeah, we got 5 people going. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm big on, I don't want to say self-help because that's kind of Lumsian, but Tony Robbins is like the mecca when it comes to motivational speakers. I mean, the guy is literally, he is a freak of nature, the way that this guy acts and how he works. Again, it's all about personal development. What can you do to recreate yourself on a daily basis to be the best version of yourself?
That's right.
And at the end of the day, that's what I try to do every day. Every day, I fail. 9 out of 10 days, I fail. But I'm always doing better than I did yesterday.
Yep.
Maybe not the best, but I'm doing as best as I can. And again, life happens, things happen. But I call it fake it till you make it. That old adage. It does work. Your mind will turn to reality the pictures you feed into it. Period.
Absolutely.
If you're telling yourself positive things constantly, you're going to get positive things out of it. If you're constantly in a negative mind frame, guess what you're going to find?
Yeah. That's right, man. It's the energy that you're putting out, it's going to attract to you.
Absolutely.
And it's having a plan. It's having that daily rituals, to get to that point. And just understanding that no matter what happens, two people can go to a concert and walk out and have completely polar opposite. How was the concert? Oh, no, I hated it. And then the other person says, oh, it was great. It was the best I've ever been to. Mm-hmm. And that happens on a different level as we walk through this life. Someone cuts them off in traffic. Oh, they're going to let that ruin their next half hour or hour.
Right.
Or whatever it might be. So the more that you can focus on controlling your emotions, taking deep breaths, and Tony does a lot of the breathing techniques as well. And we've had the great fortune as well as having Jarek Robbins on the show. His son's local here in Tampa, and we've had him on the show a few times. And man, he's chip off the old block, as they say, man. Just different type of personality, but just the same knowledge base. Just very. I mean, can you imagine? He talked about being carried over coals when he was in his mom's belly.
Right.
But so pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be. I don't know how that would be to say Tony Robbins is your father, but I can only imagine what that was like growing up.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're here in studio, Jason Brooks, mortgage expert, the Del Bro team of eMortgage Management. Let's go ahead and bring Lela into the conversation as well. Lela Bloodsworth, founder of Plan for Peace, licensed psychotherapist. So, kind of on that same theme of Tony Robbins and that type of thing. We've met at seminars as well.
Yes.
And so it's really positive impact on a lot of people's lives.
All right. I really love, Jason's concept of what's your mission statement. We can look at ourselves and we wear different hats and we develop ourselves in different areas of our lives, financials, spiritual, emotional, whatever it might be. And I think that same concept needs to apply to our personal lives. Divorce is painful. It's private. It's definitely very personal.
Yep.
And the mindset that you have going through that, if your expectations are realistic, it's not going to be fun. Most likely, it's probably not going to be easy. But I think if people just make up their minds that they're going to do it as healthy as possible, they're going to do it, with the least amount of conflict. We can't control other people, but we can certainly control ourselves. And I think having that vision of peace, that's why I call my seminar Plan for Peace. The whole, point of that is to get people in there and thinking about the resources that are available and thinking about what is my plan for peace? How does that look? And then what are the resources I need to put in place to get through that in a healthy way as quickly as I can, and hopefully in the mix of all that, shielding children from conflict.
Absolutely, children. That's the main point when it comes to that. If there are children involved, and when you talked about the peace plan for peace, it reminds me of a Mother Teresa quote or a story about her. They said there was an anti-war march, and they asked her, "Are you going to go to the anti-war march?" She said, "No, I won't go. But when you have a walk for peace, I will."
Absolutely.
So it's a lot about the verbiage, right?
Yeah, and I think. If I can say anything promising to anyone that's listening that might be going through this or knows someone that's having a difficult time, when we look at the percentages of divorce, there's only 25% of all the petitions filed that are high conflict. So, 75% of you out there are having a difficult time, and it is going to be difficult, but there's hope for you.
Irreconcilable differences, right?
That's about 25% that gets sent to me as well.
Yeah. Well, stay with us here. And we've talked with Joe Kearns about that as well, our divorce attorney here.
Yes.
He's talked about, what are exactly irreconcilable differences,
Yes, yes.
So stay with us here. More from our expert contributors. We've got Jason Brooks in the house, Lela Bloodsworth as well, licensed psychotherapist, founder of Plan for Peace. She's got an event coming up at Saturday, this coming Saturday here, USF, 9 to 4:30. Check us out at consumerqb.com for details. And also you can call our hotline, of course, consumerqb.com. Click the form, and we'll see you on the other side of the break. Coming up, we've got the stranger buys new barbershop for man who gives free haircuts to the homeless, our feel-good story, and Name That Tune. We'll see you.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay. I got to let you know about an open house going on over on Clearwater Beach on Mandalay. Beautiful property here on Sunday. We got an open house going on there. Check out our Facebook page. We're doing a Facebook promotion for an event. It's going to be a fun event there. Check it out over at Mandalay in Clearwater Beach. And also hot property in 5421 Kelly Road in Plant City. This one's listed at $1.2 million out in East Hillsborough County, and it is over 8,000 square feet, 12.89 acres. If you know of anyone looking to live out in the country like that, man, this is a great opportunity for them. There's an extra workshop out back as well. Too many upgrades to list here. But 5421 Kelly Road in Plant City is a great buying opportunity in beautiful Tampa Bay. All right, we're back here in studio helping you win. We've got in studio today Jason Brooks. He's a mortgage expert here with eMortgage Management, the Del Bro team. Also, Lela Bloodsworth, founder of Plan for Peace, who's got a seminar coming up this Saturday over at USF 9 to 4:30, USF's St. Pete campus.
Yes.
And so we're talking about smart money decisions today, and of course, divorce is a large part of what you see with your work over there in St. Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, divorce doesn't have to devastate people. It's the decisions that are made along the way. And there's a lot of resources out there that people don't even know are available, whether you're divorcing or trying to mediate out, anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Supreme Court certified family mediator. I'm a licensed and qualified parent coordinator, and I do social investigations, child custody evaluations is what they used to be called. But there's so many resources out there if people are struggling with family issues and decisions, and people just don't know they exist, so they end up throwing, money into places that aren't the best choice for their first go-to. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't want to, this is no slight against the legal system.
Right.
The family lawyers that are out there, I have a lot of respect for them, and they're they're really useful and they're needed. But there's a lot of resources out there that parents can turn to and folks can turn to before they start just going right into a litigious, decision.
Yeah, because then the walls go up, the barriers are there. Oh, I can't talk to him. I got to go through the attorney. It's going to cost a lot more money. So from what you've seen, and by the way, that's pretty cool to say you're Supreme Court certified. I mean, so when people are in this situation, what's a good first step for them if they're having disagreement? Mm-hmm. What would you advise in that position?
Well, I have a 3-time rule. So
Okay.
if you're having a disagreement, whether you're in a co-parenting situation or relationship, after you've addressed it and talked about it or asked about it, 3 times, it's probably time to go seek some outside help.
Right.
Don't keep arguing about the same issues. Don't keep going back in and trying to convince someone of your perspective.
Yes.
Sometimes no one's right or wrong. People just have different perspectives,
Right.
and I see that often. But my advice is, after 3 times, just go seek out the professional resources, be it a therapist, a mediator, go consult with an attorney. I think informed decisions are the best decisions, and try not to make those, decisions in your life out of an emotional place. Go seek some guidance, some support, get your head on straight first.
Yeah.
Because it really does make a difference. And I know when people are in a circumstance or thinking about their finances or thinking about, well, I can't afford to go see a therapist. I can't afford to do all these other things. I'm just going to go get an attorney. And then, the reality is that decision probably ends up costing them more down the road than if they tried some of the other resources out there first.
That's right, Lela. Yeah, and it's talking about getting different perspectives. That you want to get different perspective because the more, and it's asking the right types of questions.
Right.
What maybe you're asking the wrong question to the right person, or you're fighting over this situation that could be avoided completely. And again, when children are involved, that's one of the biggest heartbreakers for me. I mean, you see, it's over 50% now in the country, the divorce rate that is, and of those, I would say there's probably about another half that are with children.
Yeah, and 65% of second marriages, 73% of third marriages. People don't get better at this stuff.
Wow.
So
that's the
right, and that's
stats,
the
huh?
real closing argument for me here is that you need to go get some help from the resources because a lot of times we're very convinced of what we think is in our best interest, our children's best interest, and that other perspective, just having someone to go and talk with, speak with, and get the feedback from other people is so invaluable. My services have saved people tons of money. A lot of times I get people later in the game and they often say to me, I wish we would have been referred to you first.
Right.
So, part of me doing this, being on your show, and thank you so much, Brandon, for having me here,
My pleasure.
is to make sure people know there are resources out there.
Yeah, resources are out there. So you've got a convenient location right in St. Pete, right off of Central Avenue, is it?
Right downtown on 5th Street North in the Crest Building, right across from the courthouse. Pretty convenient.
Yeah. And you can go down there and just have a consultation. How does this process work?
Right. Well, anyone can call. 727-348-7323 is the office. You can call for a free consultation. You can visit my website, www.bloodsworthintervention.com. There's registration for the seminar. I also have sponsorships on professionals in the area. My seminar does provide continuing education credits, 6 CLEs for the legal profession, continuing education for mental health professionals, 6 CEUs for that. And I also have sponsorships. So on any given time when professionals sponsor, I end up having funds that will send families that might otherwise not be able to afford the seminar. It's $99 for those 6 CEUs, or if you're a parent, $99 for the day. So I do have sponsorships available that can send families through that program.
Yeah, that's great. ConsumerQB.com, and we'll put all that information up on our site as well. ConsumerQB.com would be a place if you want to find out more information from Lela Bloodsworth, founder of Plan for Peace, local licensed psychotherapist, and basically a counselor. I mean, you sit down, you talk to people about different issues that they might be having. Can you tell us maybe a recent success story?
Yeah, I mean, it really, for me, it's kind of a thankless job that I do often.
Oh, really?
People are disgruntled and they're angry, and they finally get to a place, and I'm just happy to see people move on. So,
yeah.
I recently had a family that they're going through, a divorce, and we're using attorneys. It was very litigious, and thankfully there are a lot of very good attorneys in town, and they were referred to me. And we were able to get their issues resolved in about 4 weeks' time. There's no need to go to trial, no need to spend that extra, the extra funds for that. And if you get through your issues sooner, that means your kids go through less conflict. So it was a win-win for the parents and the children, just all the way around.
And it's a lot about swallowing your pride, and like you said, we're so tied to what we were born into, So if you're born in the South, you're going to be more like this. If you're born into the Northeast, you're going to be more like that and have a tendency towards this. But I think the more and more, and I think it's getting better. I think that we're coming into 2018. I think people are kind of, they're kind of open to more ideas. You see it through, just for example, my fiance does the pranic healing and the energy healing work and those types of things. So I think people are more and more open to meditation and listening to books, audio books. It's very often Tony Robbins talks about it a lot. He actually has some of their pranic healers at their events. So I think we're moving to a more open-minded society, which is going to be better in the long run.
Yeah, well, I think rather than panic, there are resources out there in the news, and recently there's been a case out of Hudson where a man had a child with a woman, and he ended up involved in a quadruple murder. So there are people that do have concerns, and they are legitimate, and it's not just a perspective or a selfish situation. And I respect people's concerns.
Right.
You just have to get out there and use the right resources to ask for help, to make sure that you have all the people involved in your case that need to be there.
That's right.
And just know that you are able to impact what's going on in your life. Even though you might feel like a victim in a relationship, you don't have to be a victim in your life.
Yeah, exactly. Things are temporary. There's ups and downs. There's always going to be challenging points in life, and the more that you can persevere, and I like the idea of being proactive. That's something we talk about a lot on the show, is being proactive and understanding that you have resources available, and especially with our show, we've got lots of resources here. Everything from self-defense to, of course, real estate and finance. A lot of ways that we can help you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we want you to think about this show as the hub of your financial, your business wheel. Each spoke extending out, representing another one of our expert contributors, our preferred partners that we have on the show to help you understand these daily decisions, credit improvement, tax. There's so many ways that we can help you, but it's up to you to engage. ConsumerQB.com. Just submit the form. There's an email that comes directly through to me. We also have one of these cool pop-up things now. It answers you quickly through a text message. So ConsumerQB.com. And Lela Bloodsworth here in studio with us, founder of Plan for Peace. So what else are you seeing? What other ways can you help people?
Well, as I also do psychotherapy, and for about 1.5 years, 2 years now, I've had an acupuncturist in my office. So I really believe in the mind-body connection. So people come in for therapy. I do depression, anxiety, substance abuse, couples counseling, you name it, kids, adults. But so often people have, physical ailments that go along with that. So I'm always encouraging people to make sure that you understand we're holistic beings. We don't exist in isolation. So if you're having, emotional issues, make sure you're taking care of your body, make sure, you're taking care of your soul, all those things. So there's an acupuncturist in my practice as well that is available to see people. So I'm really finding the combination of both is very helpful. Just encouraging people to make sure you're taking care of your body.
That's right. Well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all encompassing. It's nutrition. It's active lifestyle. It's meditation, prayer. It all comes together. And it's interesting as I read a great book too a couple weeks ago. Ray Dalio. He runs a $160 billion hedge fund, and it talked about his lifestyle and how he's gone through. And he kind of mentioned Bill Gates throughout the book, but they were talking about meditation, mm-hmm. the slowing down and the ideas that will come when you slow down the world around you. And, so the more that you can do that, it's going to help you live a better life. So stay with us when we come back. More from our expert contributors, Jason Brooks in studio, mortgage expert with eMortgage Management, the Del Bro team. We've got Lela Bloodsworth as well, founder of Plan for Peace, licensed psychotherapist here in Tampa Bay, and more from our expert contributors. We've got Name That Tune coming up. We got 5 songs here that are pop songs from back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today. And we got our Feel Good Story of the Week coming up here. A stranger buys new barbershop for man who gives free haircuts to the homeless. Stay with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. Listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Daily 5 o'clock drive time right here on AM 1380 The Biz. Syndicated on the weekend, 7 a.m., FM 102.5 The Bone. Daily, 10 a.m. on WeBeam TV as well. Let's give a shout out to Signature Massage and Facial Spa in Tampa. Are you looking for a place to get a massage or a facial at an affordable price, but without having to sign up for membership? Look no further. At Signature Massage and Facial Spa, they offer a 1-hour sweetest massage for $49.95, always no contracts. Come in during the early bird hours and receive an additional $10 off. For those muscles and knots that need extra work, ask about getting a deep tissue or sports massage. And if skincare is what you're looking for, they have amazing facial and microderm packages. Check out Signature Massage and Facial Spa, 11248 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa, or call 813-925-8898, 925-8898 to schedule an appointment. And back here in studio helping you win, we've got Jason Brooks in the house, mortgage expert, eMortgage Management, and the Del Bro team here in Tampa Bay. Lela Bloodsworth, founder of Plan for Peace, licensed psychotherapist, Supreme Court certified licensed psychotherapist.
A Supreme Court certified family mediator.
Family mediator.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Awesome. I like that.
It's important to know because you can't have people mediate for court issues if they're not Supreme Court certified and enter those agreements.
Wow.
It's important to know
Yeah,
who you're hiring.
That's really good. Yeah, excellent. Located in St. Petersburg there, right off of Central. We got a seminar going on Saturday. What's the date on that Saturday? Do you know the date offhand?
November 4th at
November
the University
4th.
of South Florida St. Petersburg Campus Student Center.
9 to 4:30. Check them out. Got sponsorship opportunities and continuing education opportunities for attorneys and other folks in the line.
I also have guest speakers every seminar, board-certified marital and family law attorney, guardian ad litems, different guest speakers also are present at the seminar. So if anyone's listening in and they think they have something to offer, they're more than welcome to get in touch with me and come in and share what your service is to help families in those circumstances.
I like that. It's good stuff. All right, so you guys ready to name that tune? There we go. That's not the song.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that's the
name
intro to
that
the song. Name that tune. All right, here we go.
Are we gonna date ourselves?
So what we've got, some of these, we're going back to 1975 is the oldest one. And then you've got up to 2010. So variety. Now, these are songs that are all pop songs. All right, here we go.
Only wanted one time to see you laughing.
Purple Rain.
Yeah.
That's Prince.
Purple Rain. Wow, I didn't realize it was 1984.
I was going to say, that's early 80s, yes.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Wow, rest in peace.
Here's another popular one.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Thriller.
Right.
Thriller.
Yeah, 1982. Back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's in entertainment review. It's a local professional cast that travels all over the place, and they dance to all this stuff.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to know all this. If it's old like this, I'm going to know it.
That's fun. Here we go.
Britney Spears.
Yeah, Britney. Baby, one more time. 1998. That's a pop song.
Katy Perry.
Good jam.
That is a good song.
All right, last one. Here we go.
That Queen?
Yes.
Queen, right? No.
Yes, it is Queen, but it's just him.
Yeah, that's it's
starts with a B.
Yeah, it's
Bohemian.
Thank you, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think Fireworks was the #1 graduation song at most of the graduations.
In 2010.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I think mine was Green Day. I can't remember. It was
the Time of Your Life.
Time of Your Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. So name that tune. Having some fun with you there. All right, let's jump into our feel-good story. Every week we try to do a story to inspire you and something different from the constant negative news out there.
Tell me something good.
All right, stranger buys new barbershop for man who gives free haircuts to the homeless. And a man who dedicates his time to giving free haircuts to the homeless just received an incredible act of kindness from a stranger. Brennan Jones, 29 years old, who lives in Philadelphia, started haircuts for the homeless about 1 year ago. He said the mission came from my heart. Me personally, I think I surpassed 1,000 haircuts, so I stopped counting. So it's been a good year so far, Jones told Fox 5 in Philly. People began to notice people like Sean Johnson, a man Jones had never met. When I found out, well, I needed to be part of that. I needed to see I can do to help, said Sean Johnson. Johnson decided to give Jones the keys to a fully renovated, basically new barbershop that will offer services to those in need. He gave Jones the shop free of charge. He said, listen, I've got a building. I want you to come check it out. He said, do you like this place? I said, yeah, I like it. He tossed me the key and said, it's yours, Jones recalled.
Wow.
Johnson found himself about the path from the struggle to success, having to rebuild his life. The new shop will open on November with set days exclusive to serve the homeless. Now, Sean and his commitment to community building have partnered with Brennan, who previously had no idea he would continue the haircuts throughout the winter.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Excellent story. StunnySkies.com. All right, back here in studio, let's jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning round.
Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Jason Brooks, Mortgage Management.
The only parting words of advice I can give you is, look, if you're looking at purchasing or refinancing your home and you want an honest opinion that's going to give you some options that you may or may not even know you have, we'd love to talk to you. I have 3 offices here in Tampa. I have offices on the other coast. I have offices in other states. So, we're licensed in 38 states. We can talk about properties in other areas as well. We'd love the opportunity to see what we can do to help.
Absolutely. Support the local economy, local lender here in Tampa Bay, Jason Brooks. All right, Lela Bloodsworth.
Well, if you're going through divorce or separation, do not make decisions emotionally. Make them informed. And there's a lot of resources out there to help make those informed decisions. And if you are struggling personally, just get some help. Therapy it definitely makes a difference in people's lives, whether it's for you or for your children. So just know those resources are out there and embrace them. If you get help, it's a good thing.
Yeah, and it may be one of our listeners right now, one of our viewers that are thinking about someone else.
Right.
If you're in that position and you know that one of your friends, family members might need some help, this is something you might want to just, especially going into this holiday season, maybe talk about that, Lela. The holiday season, they call it the flu season, which Tony Robbins says, no, there's no flu. I don't believe in the flu shots either, but that's always debatable. But, this time of year, it's the reason why people get more sick is because of the change in the weather. You got all these extra duties on you now with the different holidays and things happening. And of course, lastly, you're missing that loved one or that person that, died or divorced or whatever the situation might be. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, there's a lot of pressure going into the holiday season as well. So, there's different types of stress. Besides negative stress, there's also positive stress. We call it eustress. So, perhaps planning a wedding is positive stress, but it still stresses you out. It's similar for the holidays. People going to the holidays, we're in Florida, a very transient state. Everyone likes to come visit. So people are looking to host their families. They're looking, at gift giving, just a lot of extra stress going on. That's not necessarily positive, but also it can be financially, stressful. So going into this holiday season, getting in there, if you're already dealing with something, it's only going to be magnified with the stress of the holidays. So people really need to set up their resources now. People often wait until they're in a very difficult position to get help. So I would recommend people look for those resources now and get connected now.
ConsumerQB.com. Just reach out at ConsumerQB.com. Let's do another round here. Jason Brooks, eMortgage Management, the Del Bro team.
Oh, you're gonna surprise me.
Yeah.
So another round, kind of to piggyback off of what Lela just said was essentially, we see this all the time in January, February. People go out, they rack up some money, they get, start putting money on credit cards at 18, 25%, whatever. And then they start getting those bills and they realize, oh my gosh, this is going to be painful. So again, if you haven't looked at refinancing your property recently, it might be a good time to do that because a lot of the times you can not only take out additional cash to cover a lot of those expenses, maybe even pay off other debt, but you can do that without increasing your mortgage payment. A lot of times you can actually do that by lowering your payments at the same time. So again, overall household cash flow is what we try to focus on because that's the real number. And replacing bad debt with good debt is always a good thing to do. And obviously having a mortgage is, in my consideration, a good debt versus having credit cards and revolving type of interest-only type of account. So again, something to think about if you're looking at large purchases, kids going to school, looking at doing some home improvements. You might as well, and now's a good time to do that and take a little extra cash for Christmas.
That's right. Yep. Reach out. eMortgage Management, the Del Bro team here in Tampa Bay. It's taxable once you do that as well. If you put it into your real estate, there's tax advantages, lots of advantages. Your overall household interest rate is what Jason was referring to there as well. So I want to thank our expert contributors, Jason Brooks, Lela Bloodsworth, all of our team behind the scenes putting it together, John Gaston, WeBeam TV, and all of our team. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as packing up leftover food, clothing this time of year is important as well. Handing it to that person that you see in need, maybe donating it to a local church or organization that will distribute it. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.